Hi there, my name is Kramer Wetzel. This is for astrofish.net and the subsidiary mercurysave.us. Mercury save us! Guess what? This one's going to be about Mercury Retrograde. This is an answer to a question that I had from one of my little friends, and I had promised her that I would do a short video that would explain what happens when Mercury goes retrograde and give some tips, some anecdotes for it. Okay, the way it works, Mercury goes around the sun every 88 days, and planet Earth goes around the sun every 360 days. So about 3 times a year, standing on planet Earth, because this little planet's moving so fast and we're out here moving a little bit slower, it looks like, against the backdrop of the sky, it looks like Mercury is moving backwards. Mercury's not actually moving backwards. I have to clarify that every time. Mercury doesn't go backwards. It doesn't pause in its orbit and turn around. But what it does is it appears to go backwards against the backdrop of the sky. It's very simple celestial mechanics. I always like the way the astronomers refer to this. Remember, astronomy and astrology, we used to be on the same team. The astronomers say that Mercury is going east. It has to do with the parallax. Now, that's a complicated version of it. A much simpler version is you tap my little horoscopes and they will tell you when Mercury is going to go retrograde, and they will tell you what to do about it. Or you can go to mercurysave.us and you can get a free copy of the book. A little electronic copy is available for free. Personally, I would prefer if you bought a copy of the book. But, you know, whatever works. The information is there and you can use this. When Mercury appears to go retrograde, the very simplest solution, it's quite easy. Mercury going backwards, got that? What that means is that it's time to renew, review, revise, renegotiate. If you can, it's kind of like if you can put an RE, the first 2 letters of retrograde, in front of an action, you will find that it's easier to accomplish that action. This is not a time for launching new projects, not a time to sign a lease, not a time to buy a new car, unless Mercury is retrograde in your natal chart. Once again, you got to see one of us astrologers to figure that out for yourself. People who do have Mercury retrograde, what happens is when Mercury goes retrograde is they find themselves more in sync, more in tune, and more on top of it. The problem we encounter at that time is that when Mercury is retrograde and the Mercury retrograde individuals, that's 20% of the population. What they encounter at that time is they encounter 80% of the people that are all having problems. The 80% that are having problems after my poor little Mercury retrograde people run into us non-Mercury retrograde people. After encountering us for about 2 weeks, they start going, is it me? Actually, this is one of those times when it really isn't them. It is us. Again, it varies and it depends on what your natal chart says and what's contained therein. What you do with that information? What are you going to do with this? What I suggest when Mercury goes retrograde, be aware. That's all it takes, is just being aware. I am aware when Mercury is retrograde, and I build in allowances. I build in a little bit of extra lag time. Instead of scheduling people back-to-back every hour, I schedule them back-to-back every hour and a half. I will miss a call. A phone call will come in late. I will send somebody a notice for an appointment, and they said, you said 7 o'clock, and they said they got it, and it was 8 o'clock, and I don't feel like arguing about this stuff. I've done a number of humorous videos about this. I've explained what it means, but this was one more attempt at it's a time to put an RE in front of every action. And instead of like bouncing off the walls and feeling like a little silver ball in a pinball machine, you can go back and you can renew, review, revise, revisit stuff that needs to be addressed a second time. I'm always amused when I watch Mercury go retrograde because I have a long list of projects that are Mercury retrograde projects. They don't require any kind of new material. I was working on one of them and I'm getting very, very upset because I wasn't making progress. Then I realized that Mercury's retrograde and I'm not going to make progress yet. I have to think about how I'm thinking this. I have to Rethink it if you will. I hope this helps, and I hope this is clear. Just a little bit more Mercury retrograde information. Again, the website you can go to get the book for free, mercurysave.us. Mercury Save Us!